I am in favor of sharing those dollars. First off, I want to say that pilot programs are actually a good thing in reality. They really do allow us a lot more control over how development happens. They do keep money locally that should be kept locally, and overall the fact that we do development under a pilot is a good thing. So the question is, what do we actually do with that money? This came up because we have different sorts of pilots coming up now. The first one, Hilltop, was a different story in that that was land that was not really generating tax dollars at that point in time. So it was revenue, it was a revenue advantage from the ground up. There was no real net loss to the BOE from doing Hilltop, and they are getting the ad valorem tax on the land. But in a pilot situation, the land is taxed as it normally is, ad valorem. It's split between the town, the county, and the BOE. The improvements on the property that are structured differently, where the town takes 95% of the tax dollars and the county gets 5% of it, the Board of Ed gets nothing. So the problem that comes up is when you have a redevelopment. Something like Annan is the obvious example here. A building that's currently paying taxes right now, ad valorem, on both its land and its structures. So if you all of a sudden put that under a pilot structure, the land taxes all stay the same, but the taxes on the improvements change. So you have the ability to actually make the BOE lose out on a share of revenue and actually reduce their revenue from tax dollars. Now the problem is, what happens there is their budget still remains the same. I mean, their needs don't go away, so the only thing that's going to happen is they're going to spread that expense through the rest of the town. That is going to be spread over a reduced tax base, and we're all going to pay a little bit more for school taxes. So my whole goal is to keep the BOE whole. I don't want them to lose out on any of the tax dollars from a property. The percentage may vary. It's going to change based on all of the other factors that go into making property taxes work, because everything's a moving target in those. But the idea is to keep the BOE whole so that they receive the same amount of dollars that they would if the property was taxed ad valorem on both the land and the improvements.
Pilot dollars should absolutely be shared. They should be shared with the entire community. I think just saying a certain percentage of an unknown figure is kind of an easy way out, empty numbers. I would rather see us develop strategies for building repair, preventive maintenance. The town is set up to maintain facilities. We should be increasing our facilities and making them better. The Board of Ed is there to educate our children. We need to work together to solve these issues. Just giving them, say, I'm going to give you 20% or 40% or give them 80% of how much? What's that going to do? I think together, that should be our first best shared service. That's where we're going to save money. Let's fix the problems we have so we don't have to go out to these tremendous bond referendums. It works for the town. We've had a program in town for steel coating and repairing our roads for over 10 years. It works. It's proven. We should do the same thing with our buildings. I've been involved in that business for over 30 years. I know how it works. I've worked with dozens of municipalities and dozens of Board of Educations. We can make it work here in Verona and save us all a lot of money.
Pilot dollars, absolutely. I think I was the first council member to really raise that issue. And pilot is, to me, a very interesting and beneficial program to Verona. Basically what it does is say, instead of taking $1 and sending 40 cents or 25 cents to the county and keeping 75 cents here and breaking it up, 50 cents for the Board of Ed and 25 cents for the township, and then sending 25 cents to the county, it's basically allowing us to keep the entire dollar just about in town and sending only a nickel to the county. So the more money we can keep as a team in town benefits us all. The question is, how do we break up that 95%? And right now the township keeps all 95% of it. Now I love to keep the money in town, but the question is, what's fair? And if it's not fair, it doesn't last. So you want to have, we're all on the same team, you want to approach each pilot fairly. And I think the only way to do it is not look at how many dollars are coming in, but to look at a percentage. So if we get $1 in or $1 million, we're going to break it up with a percentage. So we're on the same team. Our goal is get as much money in and keep the money flowing in, but split it up based on whatever percentage we agree to. So you could have a pilot project on the hilltop that's bringing in, let's say, $1 million, $1.5 million over a period of time, and the Board of Ed and the township would split that with a percentage that's agreed upon. The percentage that I presented, which I think is very fair and simple, and the idea is the sooner you agree to it, the better it is for everyone, because then it's behind you. So my split would be 60% township, 40% Board of Ed. And I think that's a fair split. I think it considers the Board of Ed. The township can always continue to help the Board of Ed and supplement certain things in areas where the township has their core competency: plowing, salting, sanding, grass, water, all stuff outside of the school. Let the school focus on their core competency, which is educating the kids. But if you take that money from the hilltop, and I would take money from past pilot programs and future ones and give it to the Board of Ed. But if you do that, you're going to really benefit the entire township. It's one taxpayer in town. We're the same, we're on the same team. Everyone benefits equally. Our home values go up, our schools are good. We're one team. What the township would have to do is reduce some of their budget in order to allow for a less dollars coming in. But I think sharing is the only fair way to do it, and to me a 60-40 split and working with the Board of Ed on the pilot is really the only solution, and it's the fairest solution.
Do I agree with sharing pilot money? Absolutely. Again, I feel that the Township of Verona and the Board of Ed, I think it's so important to have a strong Board of Ed, because I truly believe that a strong Board of Ed is a strong municipality. A strong school system is so important. People want to come and live and join to be a part of this community if you have a strong school system. And I really feel that sincerely in my heart. As far as the pilot dollars are concerned, I do feel that I agree we should share. I feel as though we, on the municipality side, I don't, as far as the ideal percentages, I don't know what the dollars will be. So I can't really say a percentage. But I will say that I would be willing, and I do agree, that we should offer our assistance in some way. And I feel, the township is in the business to provide a service. The schools, Board of Eds are in the business to educate our youth. So I think the important thing is if we can help them and maintain and do this building process and help with pilot money, we would, instead of giving over a check to the Board of Ed, I think we should say, the Board of Ed should say what we need done, and I think the township will work within their means to help the Board of Ed do some form of repairs or whatever we can to help the Board of Ed through the means of the pilot money. Again, right now we have only the pilot money that we have in place is the Hilltop Field. There are I believe 2 other pilot programs that maybe come in the next couple years or so. But again, that would be part, if I'm reelected, which I hope I will be, that I think that time we can come together as a council and come to a mutual agreement and a decision as to how we can work together to help the Board of Ed.